Welcome to our channel. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that has been echoing in many hearts. Why have the chosen stopped going to church? It's a question that stirs much debate, but one that's often overlooked in the mainstream narrative. Before we begin, let's reflect on this timeless wisdom. Sometimes, the greatest journey is the one that leads you away from the crowd to find your true path. In this video, we will uncover the layers behind why some of the chosen have chosen not to attend church anymore. We're not here to criticize, but to explore the unspoken truths and the deeper motivations that may have caused this shift. Stick with us to discover fresh perspectives and insights you haven't heard before. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We delve into deep, thought-provoking content that you won't find anywhere else. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment. The chosen have long been seen as individuals who walk a unique and sometimes unconventional path in their spiritual journey. For many, the decision to stop attending church is a profound and complex one. It isn't merely an issue of rejecting religion, but rather a deeper, more introspective search for authenticity and fulfillment in their spiritual practices. In today's world, the traditional church structure is being questioned, especially by those who are in the midst of a more personal spiritual awakening. Many of the chosen feel a growing sense of spiritual isolation in a church that no longer resonates with their deep, evolving relationship with God. In an age where mass congregations have become increasingly impersonal, the intimate connection that was once felt in these spaces seems to be slipping away. For these individuals, the church no longer provides the deep, personal connection to God that they seek. It has instead become a place where the sense of community is diluted, and worship feels more like a routine than a meaningful experience. In an attempt to regain a sense of spiritual fulfillment, many have turned to alternative ways of practicing their faith. The church has historically been the center of spiritual life, but as society progresses and new spiritual movements emerge, more individuals are questioning its role in their personal journey. The shift from attending physical church services to seeking a more individualistic, transformative form of spirituality is one of the key reasons behind this departure. For the chosen, spirituality is not confined to a building or to traditional rituals. Many are yearning for a more personal, profound experience of God that goes beyond the familiar rituals of weekly church services. The traditional practices of singing hymns, listening to sermons, and participating in communal prayers no longer satisfy the deeper spiritual needs of many. These individuals are increasingly drawn to practices that foster a direct, intimate connection with God, such as solitary prayer, meditation, and spiritual reflection. The church, with its emphasis on tradition and routine, no longer provides the transformative spiritual experience that they crave. Instead, they seek a path that is more aligned with their evolving beliefs and their need for growth and spiritual awakening. At the same time, many of the chosen have begun to see the church as an institution that is more concerned with its own survival than with fostering spiritual transformation. For some, the church's focus on maintaining its structure and its financial stability detracts from its ability to nurture the spiritual lives of its members. The institutionalization of religion has led to a growing sense of disillusionment among many, as they see the true essence of faith being overshadowed by bureaucracy and organizational concerns. This institutionalized approach to religion has created a distance between the church and the individuals it is meant to serve. Many feel that the church has become a place where spiritual growth is secondary to the need to maintain power, control, and resources. For the chosen, this is not what faith is supposed to be about. They desire a faith that is dynamic, authentic, and focused on genuine spiritual transformation, not an institution driven by the need for survival and expansion. In an era of rapidly advancing technology, faith is also being practiced in new and innovative ways. Many of the chosen have discovered that they can still nurture their spirituality without attending physical church services. Online resources, virtual Bible studies, podcasts, and social media communities have become valuable tools for those seeking to deepen their relationship with God. The digital world has opened up new avenues for connection and spiritual growth. And many have found that they can engage with their faith in ways that are more meaningful and relevant to their personal journey. This digital shift has led to a transformation in how spirituality is practiced, and it has allowed individuals to experience a sense of community and connection without the need for a physical church building. For the chosen, the idea of worship without walls has become a compelling and liberating option. While some find fulfillment in traditional church services, others are increasingly feeling that the church, with its institutional nature, is not the place where they can truly engage with God. Instead, they are seeking authenticity, a faith that goes beyond surface-level rituals and embraces a deeper, more personal transformation. Many are dissatisfied with what they perceive as a performative nature of modern worship services. The focus on outward appearances, such as the performance of worship teams and the polished nature of sermons, has left many feeling spiritually empty. For the chosen, worship is not about being seen by others or following prescribed rituals. It is about a genuine internal transformation that is not dependent on external validation. They are searching for a faith that is real, raw, and unfiltered, one that doesn't rely on performance but on personal connection with God. Many of the chosen have come to realize that the physical church, with its loud services and bustling congregation, often leaves them feeling spiritually drained rather than uplifted. This contrast has led to a growing preference for solitude over the crowded environment of traditional worship spaces. Solitude provides an opportunity for deep reflection, personal prayer, and a quiet connection with God, something that is often difficult to experience amidst the noise and distractions of a busy church service. For many, the chaos and overstimulation of church life have become counterproductive to their spiritual well-being. Solitude, on the other hand, offers a space to hear God's voice more clearly and to connect with Him on a more profound level. In solitude, the chosen can be present with God without the pressure of time limits, expectations, or external influences. For some, this inward focus has replaced the external ritual of church attendance as they feel that they can nurture their spirituality in peace and privacy. This yearning for inner peace is a key motivator for many who have stepped away from traditional religious practices. It's not that they've abandoned their faith, but rather they've sought new avenues that allow them to cultivate a sense of tranquility and clarity. Through practices such as silent meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature, the chosen are able to foster a deeper spiritual experience that feels more aligned with their personal beliefs. They are not rejecting God or spirituality, but they are rejecting a church system that, in their eyes, no longer serves their needs. The journey towards inner peace is deeply personal, and for many of the chosen, it means finding God outside of the rigid structure of church services and embracing a more flexible, individualized path. In today's world, intellectualism and faith often seem at odds. Yet for the chosen, there is a growing desire to reconcile the two. Many individuals today are questioning traditional doctrines and seeking a faith that is both intellectually satisfying and spiritually enriching. As knowledge and understanding of the world expand, many of the chosen are feeling the need for a more reasoned and thoughtful approach to their beliefs. They are no longer content with simplistic answers or doctrines that were handed down through generations without much scrutiny. The desire for a faith that engages the mind as well as the heart is becoming more prevalent. In this search for intellectual engagement, the chosen are often finding that traditional church teachings fail to meet their need for a deeper, more critical understanding of the world and their place in it. They are not abandoning faith altogether, but are instead searching for a version of Christianity that can stand up to intellectual inquiry and can offer answers to the complex questions of life and existence. The traditional church, with its emphasis on unquestioning belief, is increasingly seen as insufficient for those who seek to understand their faith on a deeper, more intellectual level. Another reason that many of the chosen are stepping away from church is the church's lack of action on critical social issues. As global problems such as poverty, racism, climate change, and inequality continue to grow, the chosen are looking for a faith that is active and engaged in addressing these issues. For many, the church's silence on these matters is a glaring flaw. They feel that faith should be about more than personal salvation. It should also be about improving the world and standing up for justice. Many of the chosen have become disillusioned with the church's failure to take meaningful action on issues of justice, equality, and human rights. They are looking for a faith that aligns with their desire to make a tangible difference in the world, one that actively works towards addressing the systemic problems that affect so many. The church's reluctance to engage in social issues has led many of the chosen to seek a faith community that is more actively involved in promoting justice, compassion, and peace. For some, the hypocrisy within the church has also been a driving factor in their decision to stop attending. There is a growing perception that many religious leaders, and even entire church communities, do not live according to the principles they preach. The church is often criticized for its failure to practice what it teaches, especially when it comes to issues such as forgiveness, humility, and compassion. The contrast between the church's teachings and the actions of its members can be disheartening for those who are striving to live a life of integrity. For the chosen, authenticity is paramount, and they cannot reconcile the church's teachings with the actions of some of its leaders. The hypocrisy they see in the church creates a sense of disillusionment and frustration, making it difficult for them to continue participating in a community that they feel is not living out the true spirit of the faith. Many of the chosen are also experiencing a spiritual awakening that leads them to re-examine their relationship with organized religion. This awakening often involves a reevaluation of their beliefs, their practices, and their understanding of God. It's a journey that leads them away from external religious structures and towards a more personal, intimate relationship with the divine. This spiritual awakening is not a rejection of God, but rather a shift in how they experience and connect with God. For some, this means finding new ways to worship, new communities of faith, or new practices that allow them to cultivate a deeper, more authentic spirituality. As they explore new dimensions of their faith, they often find that traditional church services do not meet their spiritual needs. They seek an experience of God that is more immediate, more personal, and more direct, without the intermediary of a church institution. As we've explored today, there are many reasons why the chosen are stepping away from church. These reasons are complex, layered, and deeply personal. It's not a rejection of faith, but rather a search for something more real, more connected, and more aligned with their evolving spiritual journeys. We hope this video has given you fresh insight into this growing trend. If you found it thought-provoking, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with our deep dives into topics like this. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue this conversation. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, the path you walk in faith is yours to shape. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay introspective, and keep seeking truth.